Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Sneople at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. From the kids who are inexplicably running from a giant boulder, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Helena.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Ezra.
Well, if you couldn't guess from our opening, we're talking about Indiana Jones this time. Because I randomly decided to watch the original 3 all over again, and then was like, alright, I'm making you guys talk about these with me.
There was very little making involved here. Matty was like, hey, you want to do an Indiana Jones episode? And I was like, yeah, except unfortunately I can't just, leave work immediately and go watch Last Crusade, a movie that I haven't seen since I was, 12.
Yeah. That was the one I watched today, and that was the one that I hadn't seen in a really, really long time. I had only seen it the one time. So that was the one that was like, I need to watch this one, the most. I almost skipped Temple of Doom entirely. I was like, I remember the beginning of this movie, and the beginning is not promising.
No, it's not.
And then I sat through the whole thing. I am God's bravest soldier. I sat through the whole thing. And Amanda, my beloved roommate, was like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to watch it. As I was sitting there halfway through groaning. And I was like, no, I'm gonna, though. And she was like, okay.
You kind of have to see how it goes, right? You're like, maybe it'll get better.
I have stopped in the middle of movies, but not very many. Almost every movie I have, I just retain, a perverse urge to be like, no, I have to see how this ends.
Yeah, movies take less time. I mean, I've DNF'd books before.
I DNF books all the time.
Yeah. I get 70 pages in, and if I'm like, I don't care that I put it down. I DNF TV shows, obviously, all the time. Those take more time out of my life.
Yeah,
movie,
right.
I'm just like, might as well. I'm at an hour in.
What else was I going to do with this next 45 minutes of my life? Probably not anything particularly interesting or useful.
No, probably just listen to Cabin Pressure. So, I mean, I can do that anytime.
You have inspired me to re-listen to Cabin Pressure. A thing that I have not done since a very long time ago. Because I listened to Cabin Pressure I'm old now. It was a long fucking time ago, because that show, that aired a lot longer ago than I think it did.
A long time ago. It was very long. I was thinking about when the last season premiered.
2013, I think, because I saw a post earlier about somebody getting into their old iPod Touch, and their Tumblr dashboard was there, but it was, frozen.
Oh my god.
And they were the post that I had made at that time was about how I was waiting for the final episode of Cabin Pressure.
Yeah, because I remember being in college, and it was the first season that I listened to live-ish. And by live, I mean
as
BBC
it was coming
radio,
out.
As it was coming out, and I had my mom actually listen to it, because I got my mom into it. That's crazy. That was 10 years ago.
Time is fake. It's fake.
I don't like that.
I keep my new job, my new position at work, is effectively there's me and my boss, and we are the whole department. So it's great that I really like my boss. But we just sort of we keep shooting the shit about stuff, and then I'll say something. She just goes, she's like, because she's I think maybe 10 or a little, 10 or 12 years older than me. And then it's I'll just say something. She's like, I forget. And then you say something, and she goes, and she's like, and I'm like, fuck, I'm old now. And I'm like, I do the same thing with our 22-year-old new hires. So it's cyclical.
Yeah.
There's something about realizing that someone a full decade younger than you is a grown-ass adult human being with responsibilities and a car payment and shit that just is that's a hard pill to swallow.
That's wrong.
I was talking to my dad on the phone earlier, and I mentioned to him, because he was talking about how he's been friends with some of our close family friends for 40 years.
Wow.
Which I was like, oh, that's longer than I've been alive. And he was like, well, you've been friends with Helena for a very long time. And I was like, yeah, we've been friends for 18 years. Our friendship could be going to college right now. Which he thought was very funny as a concept of a span of time could do this if it was human, which we say all the time, right? Is our friendship could be driving a car or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like Z, like your car could drive a car.
Yeah, my car is old enough to get
is.
its own driver's license.
Exactly. But my dad, I don't think I'd heard that before, and he
so
thought the
funny.
concept was very funny.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, our friendship is applying for a bunch of like arts colleges right now. I'm applying for Kalamazoo College.
Oh my God.
I think Cornish and
Fucking Cornish.
Juilliard.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Cornish
Unfortunately.
for accepting me. Sorry I didn't go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
welcome back to Sneople at the Movies, the show where we talk about whatever the fuck we want because it's our podcast. Thanks for listening.
The jokes are made up and the points don't matter.
That's right.
Also that.
Let's
it's
do this damn thing.
It's Indiana Wait, hang on. I have an important question here. Am I the only person on this podcast who has seen all of the existing Indiana Jones movies because I'm the only one who saw Dial of Destiny in the theater?
Correct.
That's fucked up. I hate having that role.
I've only seen the original 3.
Dial of Destiny we'll get there, but I had a good time. I went with my parents because my mom was like, I need someone to go see the Indiana Jones movie with me. And I was like, all right. I like an opportunity to eat popcorn and see large Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah. Huge Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, huge. But unfortunately, it's not streaming until for another few days. Fuck you, Donkey Plus.
It's literally
Just
by just
bad
like
timing.
2 days. It's like they knew that I wanted to watch it, and they were like, actually, go fuck yourself. And I was like,
that's okay, because I don't remember Temple of Doom or Last Crusade very well, and I know that I saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That's
apparently.
It. All I got,
Possibly.
apparently.
I also allegedly saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
So, between the 3 of us, we've got them all covered, except for apparently
Ish.
the 4th one.
Which we don't need to talk
Which
about.
I didn't even fucking
loss?
see.
No.
Not really.
I mean, we'll mention it. We'll do a shout out to it and acknowledge its existence for sure.
Maybe. This
not
might
a
be the
shout
only
out,
time
but-
we talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's maybe shout out's too strong a word. In the meantime, though,
Yeah.
for that,
It's time for What We Sneep.
Yeah, let's sneep.
let's do that.
So, once again, have not seen a ton. Just had a lot on my plate. I spent, like, an entire day watching an old season of Drag Race, which my roommate, she just is one of the shows that she'll just, like, put on sometimes, so I just sat down and watched it with her. Which, like, as someone who's never sat down and watched, like, really a whole season of Drag Race is very funny, because I'll watch, like, half seasons with her. So I've watched a lot of Drag Race, but none of it is, like, in a row. So I have, like, favorite queens. But also I've never watched, like, a full season of Drag Race. So that show and I have a very interesting relationship.
You're like, I'm here for the impressions, not for the storyline.
Yeah, basically. And also to make, like, snotty commentary sometimes and to, like, see the fashion and stuff.
That's cool.
I watched Adam's Family Values on Thanksgiving, which, like, that movie is a treat, as always. I rewatched Pacific Rim, movie of the year every year. I haven't watched it in so long, and I was like, fuck it, Pacific Rim time. And I was like, I do like this movie quite a lot. Is it perfect? No. Is it, like, a very fun concept, especially for me, someone who loves both Godzilla and mecha anime? Yes. Extremely so. Guillermo del Toro made that movie for me, and me alone. And that's fine. That's great.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade over the past 24 hours, just slamming those, trying to get ready for this episode.
Hell yeah.
I was like, I was going to skip Temple of Doom, and then I was like, no, I have to fucking do it. And once again, Amanda was like, bro, you don't have to. And I was like, no, I'm gonna. And by God, I did. And I'm so strong and so powerful for doing so. I was also, in my defense, I was there for one of Infinity Break's like close companions. Video Games Are Good is a website which is very good, and they come to a lot of our streams. We come to a lot of their streams. I was on a bunch of. They do a 24-hour stream every year, and I was on a bunch of their stream and also in the chat for a bunch of their stream. So like a lot of that 24 hours, I was like actively doing stuff. So then I had to then recover from doing that.
Understandable.
And then I watched The Pathologic is Genius video say 1.5 times, which is like a movie because it's 2 hours long. So,
yeah.
That's what I've been up to.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to get mine out of the way, Helena? Because as always, it's drastically shorter than yours.
Sure.
Look, we spend our free time doing different shit. I only watched one actual movie, but on Thanksgiving, my parents were like, "Oh, we should watch a movie or something." And I was browsing through Hulu, which, why is the Hulu fucking... I'm just like, can you not simply present me with the goddamn alphabetical list of the movies you have on here?
Right.
Anyway, streaming services don't want me to actually look at their catalog. I'm like, stop trying to algorithm me into watching some stupid bullshit. I already pay for you to not give me ads anyway. That being said, guess what's on fucking Hulu? Hey, everybody remember back in 2019 when The Personal History of David Copperfield came out and we couldn't fucking watch it in the US for literal years? It's great. You should watch it. Dev Patel is like just he's unbelievable. Like, he's
so handsome.
He's so fucking handsome, and he's so fucking charismatic, and he's so talented, and he's just like the camera loves that man. Like, he's like luminous. It's unreal. Anyway,
Ezra, I once again want to ask, if you watched Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar yet?
No, not
Netflix?
yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just on the Dev Patel note. Just
okay. No, yeah, I'm gonna watch it this weekend, I think. Yeah, anyway, that movie was worth waiting for. It's great. It is very funny to see an Armando Iannucci film that doesn't have any cursing in it. When you're used to, you've seen In the Loop a bunch of times. Yeah, there's a lot of like fun over the top character actor performances. It's very pretty. Like, it's a very just like lush looking movie. A lot of good fabrics. Love a good fabric. I'm padding this out because I'm on a movie podcast and I don't watch very many movies. Other than that, I watched a chunk of the Pathologic for Those Who Will Never Play It Again video again because I have never played Pathologic and I'm obsessed with it.
I have started playing Pathologic Classic again. I played a little bit of it while I was editing Sneople, which is really an experience to be editing a
so
podcast
much
while playing.
Shit. Whoa!
But to be fair, there's a lot of walking.
There is a lot. Yeah, that's
so there's a lot of just kind of moving. I ended up deciding not to do that because the last episode needed a lot of attention.
That's bananas, Foster.
But still, yeah, that game's real fucking interesting. I was like, can I say that game is good? To me, it is. To me, Pathologic is good.
It's
the Pathologic one.
Anything
Pathologic
else.
Classic HD is the questionable one. Pathologic 2 is good.
And then speaking of video games, I started playing Dragon Age Inquisition over again, a game that I have spent the last several years dunking on at every possible opportunity. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna hate running around through the hinterlands. You know what has made that seem way less awful? Is the literal hundreds of hours of Skyrim and Oblivion I have played in the last year. Because I'm just I'm totally used to just wandering around a big ass landscape and fighting random bears. This is just what video games are to me now. So, yeah, I'm determined to fucking finish Dragon Age Inquisition this time, and I'm gonna get through it by freeing myself of the obligation to make everyone like me. I don't care. I don't care if it closes me out of side quests. I know what everybody's fucking side quests are. I don't want to do Blackwall's fucking side quests. I don't give a shit. I'm probably gonna do it anyway, but at this point I don't give a shit. Yeah, anyway. Also, I hate Solus marginally less when I just imagine him dressed as Yanto Jones. That's it. That's me.
It's one of the gayest things you've ever said.
You know, which is impressive considering it's a real long list.
It's a pretty long list, but boy howdy. Well, this this is a TV show. It's not a movie, but I've been watching. I have 2 episodes left, but I've been watching Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, which is on Netflix. I am really enjoying it. I think your enjoyment level will depend on your relationship with Scott Pilgrim. I read...
Which I am fond of.
Okay, good. I read 2 of the comic books. I watched the movie a lot in college, so I have, like, a pretty decent, like, fond relationship with it, and especially with the cast of the original movie, which every single one of them came back to do the English language voice acting.
Nice.
For this.
I didn't know that.
It's so funny.
I have...
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have the flip reverse version where I've only seen that movie a couple times, but I have all of the original comics and I've read it all, like, a couple of times, but, like, before the movie was made. So, like, probably high school, college, which is, like, I think the ideal time to be reading Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, probably.
When you're, like, around the age of all of the, like, adult characters, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. So, and I love the style of it.
Yeah.
So to see, like, an animated version of that style is, like, oh, very, very happy, very excited. So I'm glad that it is, like, that you're enjoying it, because I trust you.
It's very funny. The voice acting from everybody is really great. I mean, Jason Schwartzman, as Gideon Graves, like, coming back is just, like, he's so fucking good. They're all great. The animation is really incredible to look at, and there's this particularly an episode, episode 3, I want to say, that, I guess, whole sequence that I was just like, God, fuck, this is so cool! The animation is so delightful. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And it is just so cute that the entire cast just, like, was asked to come back for it, and, like, no matter where they are in their careers, they were all just like, yeah, immediately. Or, like, yeah, no problem. It's great to hear Chris Evans' fake tough guy.
I was gonna say Chris Evans?
Chris Evans there? Everybody.
Rock
Elizabeth
on.
Winstead, Michael Cera, Kieran Culkin, Mae Whitman.
Cool.
Chris Evans, Brandon Ruth.
You might not
Brie
know this
Larson.
because you really read a couple of volumes. Is it more similar to the graphic novels than the movie was?
I think
the movie was fairly similar, but there were a few things that were not, which was like, that was not one of those things where I was like, this is a bad adaptation. It was just, like, different, and I'm just curious if it's more similar to...
From what I understand, it diverges from the plot of the original books at a certain point, and you'd probably be able to tell what point that is. It's very early on, so it's kind of like an alternate universe version or alternate timeline. Like, what if this happened in the book? We all know that this thing happens in the original stories and in the movie, but what if instead this thing happened?
This happened. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's really
I'm
interesting. Yeah. Recommend. It's very cute, and the theme song is a banger. I've mostly been doing a lot of rewatching, like, cause I've been watching a lot of movies while I've been cooking dinner, and so my dinner rewatches have been The Brothers Bloom on Tubi, Stargate once again on Tubi, Brothers Bloom, Adrian Brody.
That is, I feel like it's been a long time since I've said this on this podcast, but The Brothers Bloom was for a long time if you made me pick a favorite movie of all time, was my favorite movie of all time.
So cute.
For a long time.
That movie is so charming, and
it is still on my top 10 list.
Everybody in it is so fucking hot. And once again, I just have to say, Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody? Are we solving that?
I'm like, crawling around on my ceiling.
What is happening? I mean, Mark Ruffalo is no slouch in this movie.
No,
either, to be quite
everyone's extremely hot. Rachel Weisz.
I know.
Everyone is exceptionally hot in that movie.
It's really bad, but the Adrian Brody of it all, especially since this is, like, technically a movie, until it's not, but, like, technically a movie about how Mark Ruffalo is a con man who uses his hot brother Adrian Brody as a honey trap. Like, that's
yes,
the
it
plot of
is.
this movie.
That is, in fact, extremely the plot of this movie.
This is just the plot of the film, and I'm like, yeah, that's extremely realistic to me. Still is. Anyway, good movie. I also rewatched The Iron Giant with director commentary, which was
hell
cute.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. Especially it's the one scene where Hogarth drinks a bunch of coffee late at night and starts ranting. Brad Bird animated that sequence on his own, and it was hell because he's talking really fast and he had to animate every single frame in between frames. And he was like, they let me do it, and they made me do it. I wanted to do it. I also rewatched Casablanca with commentary from Roger Ebert, which was just so precious because he has so much to say about that movie. It's like every single second he's talking a mile a minute talking about this movie, and you're just like, I don't even know what you're saying anymore, but it's amazing. I love you. R.I.P. I also watched on Thanksgiving. I rewatched The Fellowship of the Ring with cast commentary, which, as always, of course, was delightful. I was particularly struck this time by how delightful a person Orlando Bloom is on the commentary. Because he doesn't show up, right? His character doesn't show up for about, I don't know, like an hour, 15 minutes of screen time, at least, in the extended. I can't remember when they...
He shows up fairly close to, like...
the disc break, yeah.
I think he first shows up actually in the Council of Elrond.
Yes, yeah,
don't because they have that whole scene. Yeah, they have...
Because he's just sitting there quietly until he's like... Don't you fucking talk about my bestie Aragorn that way.
Yeah. Well, he has this thing where they all show up at, like, where they all show in. But yeah, basically he's, like,
you get the visuals of everybody, but he doesn't really do anything until then.
Yeah. And where it's like John Rhys Davies in the commentary doesn't really start getting into it until he shows up as a character, which is around the same time. Orlando Bloom, like, pops in every now and again for the first hour, 15 minutes, just to be like, oh, isn't this bit so cool? Isn't this bit of acting so great? He's so great. I love this part. I think this is so good. He's so delightful. It was such a pleasure to work with him. And I'm like, you are like the purest person I can have ever heard speak on this planet. So funny. Also, just like a delight to hear the history of Tig one more time, of course. So I rewatched Stargate. Bad movie, not a good movie, but James Spader.
But it's my friend is the
really
thing.
Hot in it, and even he's like swagless in that movie, and it's like it's okay.
Swagless.
He's got no swag, but he still gets the girl. It's fine. I understand. They did everything they could. Like, how can we make him as like swagless as possible? And it doesn't fucking work because he's still got it.
He's still James Spader.
He's still James Spader. Doesn't matter. He's got this stupid 90s haircut and he's sneezing all the time and he's got the big dad glasses. Oh my god, I hate him.
I haven't seen Stargate in forever, but from what I remember, I like it and it's dumb as shit and I like it.
Yeah,
is the problem.
Exactly. And it's also
sometimes you just gotta watch a sci-fi movie that's the stupidest thing you've ever seen with your human eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. I mean, and it's like, because it was also made in the 90s, it still looks better than a lot of similar, really, really dumb movies of the same kind that I've seen in the past 5 years. So I'm just like, it feels, when you're watching it, like it's a lot better than it actually is. And then you finish and you're like, okay, it wasn't that good, but I still like it a lot because it still feels like an actual movie.
Yeah.
And also
it's something you can actually watch and not be like, this is just garbage.
Yeah.
This is just trash.
There's things happening.
Yeah.
Specifically, James Spader's hair. I also, of course, I rewatched Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I was gonna watch Dial of Destiny, but I couldn't get it, so I was like, oh no, I'll watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Woe is me. Which we'll get to later. New watches, I watched Hangover Square as part of my Decades project and also part of Noirvember. Very good. Very nasty little noir film from the 1940s. I went on Thanksgiving, I watched 3 movies on Thanksgiving. I watched Fellowship, I went to Nighthawk and watched The Holdovers, and had an old fashioned, and it was delightful. I really loved it. I highly recommend. And I also watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles after I finished making potatoes that evening. Or while I was making potatoes, I watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for the first time. Which is also
Ben keeps recommending that movie to me, like, whenever we're on stream. He's like, you haven't seen that movie? And I'm like, no, I've told you this. And he's like, oh, right. we need to watch that. I'm like, you got a boss.
Oh my god. It's fun. It's definitely a John Hughes movie. And everything that entails.
Right.
I think John Candy in that movie is, like, so good. Like, an astonishingly good performance in that movie that otherwise feels very, like, mean and cruel in some ways. Like, the characters are really going through it and being punished in the kind of the John Hughes kind of, like, Home Alone variety, or like what he does to the principal on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where you're like, what is going to happen to this guy next that's going to make him suffer in this way? Comedic pain, but, like, in a way that you feel like sometimes he deserves it. That's the Steve Martin character. And so John Candy's character is kind of, in many ways, I feel like the heart of the movie. It is basically structured like a rom-com, is the thing about it. When they did There's Only One Bed thing, I was like, really? Okay.
Hang on.
And then it just keeps going from there. And then, like, if this was made in a different time and with different actors, and one of them was a woman in the 1980s, this would have gone extremely differently, I'm just saying. But it's good anyway. R.I.P. John Candy. He was very good. Steve Martin's kind of hot in it, too, which is, like, annoying, but what can you do? When is he not? I watched A Haunting in Venice, finally on Hulu, which is good. I think definitely better than Death in the Nile. Mostly because it doesn't look like shit, like Death in the Nile did.
It's so funny to me. I really am like, so many people think that movie looked like shit, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. It wasn't, like, the prettiest thing I've ever seen, but I just, like, we're gonna, you know what, we'll put a pin in this, we're literally gonna do an episode on the Ken Brad Poirot movies.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
It was a good time, Haunting in Venice. Not enough Michelle Yeoh, but, that's okay.
Such is the nature of that kind structure of movie.
Yeah, you're always like, someone's gonna not be in this enough as they should be. But I recommend if people enjoyed that kind of movie. I guess that's it. Gosh, we can finally get into the subject of the thingy.
The thingy?
The thingy. The podcast.
Fuck, the podcast. Yeah, so, it's fucking Indiana Jones time. I feel like I have to preface any discussion of Indiana Jones, with me laughing about the having gone to Disneyland when I was 7 years old and being too short to ride the Indiana Jones ride, so my parents had to take turns, so one of them could stay with me and the other one could go on the Indiana Jones ride.
How tall are you?
Very small!
Because I went there when I was, like, the same age, and I went.
So, the thing about me, Helen, is that until I was about 12, everyone thought I was going to take after my 5'2", 110-pound grandmother and my 4'11", 98-pound aunt. Listeners, you've never seen, but many of you have seen me in real life. Some of you haven't. This is not what happened.
Yeah, that's.
I was a fucking shrimpy ass child.
I have no idea how tall I was when I was 6, but I guess I was... I mean, listen, the thing about that ride, I remember going on it. It's very intense.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't realize that most of it is based off of Temple of Doom. Because I only saw Temple of the Doom, as canny-eared listeners may remember, I only watched Temple of Doom for the first time this year. Like, I didn't watch Temple of Doom for most of my life. And so when I was watching Temple of Doom, I was like, there's so many times where I was like, oh, like in the ride. Yeah, like the cart. And then, like, the specifically the kind of stuff, like, the last third of the movie when they're underground in the cave, like, all of the lighting and the monsters or whatever that are not monsters, but, you know, like, that are in that part of it. Like, the only thing I remember that's in the ride that I remember from Raiders is the boulder.
Where you think the boulder's gonna hit you and it's a fake out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all I remember. Yep. And then, if there was anything from Last Crusade, I don't remember it. But I was like, nope. Most of it's from Temple of Doom. Yep. And I was like, rock on! Like, I understand that now. That was the most rewarding part of watching Temple of Doom for me, besides...
Temple of Doom was, like, the best thing to come out of Temple of Doom is the ride.
Yeah.
I was also, I've told this story before, but I will say the brief version, which is I was either too short, or I think maybe now I think back, I might have been too scared to go on the Indiana Jones ride when I went at 7. And so, and then someone like custom created the map of the Indiana Jones ride in Left 4 Dead 2, and I played that a million times, and then when I went as an adult, I was like, why the fuck do I know this? I've never been in here before. And then realized, like, either after we had left, or like while I was like in the ride, I was like, oh fuck. It's because several years ago, I played that like really, really detailed Indiana Jones ride Left 4 Dead 2 map like a million times. Which was one of the weirdest experiences of my life. It was deja vu to the level of like I like had a prophetic dream about this place. It was insane.
Oh my god.
Once again, I'm not gonna get too detailed into it, but like, yeah, that is the, like, because I've definitely told this story before. But it's still, like, that is my main thought about the One, I love the Indiana Jones ride. It's fun.
It's very fun.
It's my favorite ride at Disney. But also, that was the, like, my primary association was that. And I went into Left 4 Dead 2 fairly recently and was like, do I still have access to that map? And I do. I was playing this map, like, 10 years ago. 12 years ago. And I still have access to that map, so I can still, in fact, go and kill zombies on the Indiana Jones ride.
Oh
Fucking
my
excellent.
god. I am so enamored of this.
Yeah, it's incredible. Someone also recreated, like, Silent Hill.
Hell yeah.
Like, the Silent Hill 1 map.
Oh, fuck.
The people making Left 4 Dead 2 maps are, like, still going at it so hard, it's very funny.
Enough about the best part of the Indiana. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other best part is how many people in those movies are just so deeply fuckable.
God,
it's like
hot though.
It's like it's lethal. It's like this is like you've exceeded your quota of sexy people.
And it's not even just Harrison Ford, though. Obviously, Harrison Ford is like so sexy that I'm gonna be the one whose face is melted off.
Yeah.
By the wrath of God.
It does feel like it.
There's also one, Z, you said John Rhys Davies, strong agree. I was so excited when I saw that he was in Last Crusade again. I was like, thank God. Thank you for returning, my best friend, John Rhys Davies. The women in those movies, sure, but specifically it's Karen Allen in the first one.
Karen Allen,
God,
Karen
so
Allen
hot.
is Marion Ravenswood.
The shot, like her first scene in Raiders, where she's doing
shots.
She's doing shots and like drinking down on these men, and then he shows up and she's just like staring at him in his shadow in the back of the bar. I'm just like, the woman that you are too good for him. Leave him and be with me.
Especially because like she says it's been 10 years, and she says something along the lines of like, I was a child.
Yeah,
and I'm guessing she had to be probably like 18 or 19 is what I've always estimated. So she's like our age. And I'm like, hello, you could be with somebody more age appropriate if you wanted to be. And that person is me.
It's me. It's me.
And she owns this fucking dope ass bar. And she's like, I want to go back home. And I'm like, that's fair. But also like, you own this cool bar. You can just keep being here.
With me.
As my wife. Yeah.
Yeah. With me.
I have never wanted a woman to drink me under the table so bad.
So bad.
Yeah. I'm like, it awakes so many things immediately when I see that scene. Harrison Ford though too, we have to say,
he's so sweaty. Like
it's
88
the
in
whole
those
time.
Like 88% of those movies is him just like they've got at him with a spray bottle. And also they keep ripping his shirt apart and you can see his hairy chest, and I'm like,
he's
got
like
reading
Depression
glasses.
Era chest. Yeah, it's like this is so. Everything about this is so terrible.
Yeah.
Imagine being the person who was in charge of like making sure Harrison Ford looked appropriately sweaty.
This was in the the era where like first of all men had to be smooth, and 2, no one was allowed to sweat in movies, which is our current era, the worst one. And I'm like, this is the good times. Thank God he was making movies as a young, hot dude in this era.
Yeah. And he's also just, like, a little bit older. Like, I mean, obviously, Harrison Ford as Han Solo is a beautiful man, my best friend, the greatest person I know.
Sure.
But in Star Wars, he's kind of got the shaggy, like, 1970s look still going on. Mm-hmm. In Indiana Jones, because he's doing a period piece, it's a little bit more like he's a professor, so he has to be clean cut, and it's the 1930s. But also he has to be hot and sweaty and go on adventures and be always getting beat up and, like, bleeding all the time. And it's kind of like...
It's crazy that these movies are supposed to take place in the 30s. When I rewatched Raiders, and it was, like, 1936, and I was like, bitch, when? Which makes sense, because it's Nazis, right?
Yeah,
but I was also like, this is supposed to take place in 36?
They're so, like, loosely period pieces that I feel like it's easy to forget that they're like, technically... Yeah. And it's more because you need, like... You want you want there to be certain kinds of technology, but, like, not to have to deal with certain other kinds of technology of being
I don't necessarily understand why they needed to put a date on it. I feel like they could have just,
I think it's because of the time period in which, like, the stories that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were basing Indiana Jones off of, like, those classic adventure serials that they grew up with, I think were very firmly set in that era, as far as I understand, like, kind of, like, in that particular time period. So I think that was more of the intention. And also so they could, fuck around with some Nazis and beat the shit out of them and melt their faces off, which is always
right,
satisfying.
but they didn't need to put an actual...
36 is very specific, you're right.
Yeah,
I was true. Like, they don't need to put a year on it. They could, like, if they have Nazis show up, I know exactly what frame of time that we're in. We don't need a year.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that happens in any of those movies that, like, feels like it needs to be set during a particular time.
Nothing that I can think of.
No,
beyond the fact that there's Nazis, like,
I feel like part of it, I'm the only thought that I have is, like, the specifically the French guy, and, like, sort of that you need it to be pre-war rather than, like, during the Second World War, because, like, the politics are just slightly different.
Fair enough. And
I think that's why I would guess that it is.
There's, in the third one, they have an American working with the Nazis.
Yeah, and they go to a rally.
Yeah.
So it's
I forgot about that. Damn.
Chancellor.
Because they go to a book burning to try and get Dad's journal back.
And then Adolf Hitler signs the book.
Yeah, oh my god. I was not ready to see Adolf Hitler on screen.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, and the Austrian scientist is, like, holding on to this book.
Yeah.
And she clearly looks upset about the book burning, and I'm like, girl, you're the one who signed up to work with the Nazis.
I know, Ilsa.
Like, that one's on you.
She's such a, like, or Ilsa, I can't even remember. She's such a...
I think it is Elsa.
Elsa. It's so funny because there are several times where she's like, they're, like, trying to show, on one hand,
they're trying to make her sympathetic.
Thinks that she's different from the Nazis. But in the end of the movie, she still tries to get out of there with the Grail. So it's like, seems like she's motivated. She wants to think to herself that she's motivated by different things. Like, she's slightly more, like, she has a slightly better moral compass than Donovan, but in the end,
that she's
cares still doing
about
what
the
Donovan
knowledge,
does. Yes.
The knowledge of it, but that doesn't matter because either way, like, so for those who do not remember the end of the movie or haven't seen it, they've got the Holy Grail, but she's taken it too far. There's, like, a seal. You can't take the Grail beyond this seal. And she does, and the room starts splitting apart, and it falls into a ledge, and she falls off. Indy catches her, and he says, give me your other hand, I'll pull you up. And she's like, no, I've almost got it. Yeah. And it's her, like, greed for the Grail, her, like, And it's very much, I don't think they really directly say it, but it's implied it's not about the, like, knowledge of, like, look at this piece of artifact, this, like, fascinating piece of history that we found. It's about the, like, glory of it, and it causes her to fall to her death. Yeah. Whereas, like, and then Indy falls, and his dad catches him, and he also starts reaching for it and is like, I've almost got it. And his dad, who's been trying to get the Holy Grail his whole life, like, looks out at him and says his chosen name for the first time and only time in the movie, which really got me. And he just says, Indiana, let it go.
Yeah.
And he does, and then he reaches up and he pulls him up and they leave. Yeah. But it's the realization of, like, this is not, she's clearly doing it for, like, the proof and the glory of it.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, it's we've found it, we know it's real, we like, my life's work has been kind of resolved, and now I can let it go.
Yeah, for
and
Henry...
maybe actually be a fucking dad to you for once, but whatever.
Yeah. For Henry, it's enough to know that it's real, my research was right.
Yeah,
the night
illumination.
And illumination that he's not only was all of this real and that I found the true path to it, but illumination that there are things that matter more to me. And that's what I know now. And I'm like, that's, you know, I can be that person now that I wasn't before. Because I've moved on from this. And he sees the knight just standing by the, you know, the entrance to the ground.
And he waves goodbye, and they're like, bye, bestie. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, so...
These movies all have this thing at the end, like, they're action-adventure movies, right? But they also have this, like, mythological elements to all of them, because all three of them have this thing where it's like, I guess we're never going to talk about the fact that we opened the Ark of the Covenant where the original stone tablets of the commandments are, and out came the wrath of God that killed all these people. We're just going to put it in a box in a government warehouse and wheel it away and become the plot of Warehouse 13, a show that came out a million years later.
Yeah.
Like, he like, Indy vaguely brings it up in the third movie where the gal is, like, looking and is like, oh, like, what is this? And Indy's like, it's the Ark of the Covenant. And she's like, well, are you sure? And he's like, yes. And then he turns away and leaves. And it's
that drawing is the Ark of the Covenant. How do I know? Well,
because I fucking saw it with my eyes.
boy, I saw that thing fucking melt some Nazis.
Well, I mean, specifically, he didn't, because they're like, we can't look at it or we'll be killed.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the part in National Treasure, which obviously borrows quite a bit from these movies in spirit, where they're trying to figure out, they're trying to illuminate the map on the back, and they're trying to keep it from his dad that they just stole the actual Declaration of Independence. And he's like, well, gosh, that looks pretty old. How old is it? And they're like, oh, it's like, you know, 300 some years. He's like, really? Are you sure? And Nicolas Cage is like, pretty darn. Yes. Yep, it's about that old. Yep, we're pretty darn sure.
We're fairly
certain. Anyway,
it does say something that, like, the history, like, we're analyzing history segments of these movies are, like, I love the action adventure shit, obviously, like, who doesn't love, I'm gonna run around and do some ridiculous stunts and punch some Nazis, like, that's always fun. Mm-hmm. But the, like, we're analyzing history is some of my favorite parts.
So good.
Because I'm a history nerd.
It raises the stakes a little bit, too, because like, if it's just actual treasure, if it's just gold, that's nothing. But if it's somehow tied to this huge historical moment, it suddenly becomes so much more significant, which is, like, you know,
it's the discovery of the impossible.
Yeah, which is how Indiana Jones
is interesting. Yeah.
Because he's always like, this belongs in a museum.
Yeah, and you're like, shut up, just leave it alone.
Yeah, sometimes it's like,
let it be with the...
It doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes that is the thing that annoys me, is specifically the opening sequence of Raiders where he goes and he steals the idol.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just leave it. Like, that's where it belongs. That, like, clearly still has significance to the people that live there. Like, you could just leave that one there. The cross that they deal with in,
right. In
the third movie, that makes sense, because one of the dudes is specifically, like, the person it belonged to in all of his the people who came after him, all of his, like, grandchildren are dead. Like,
yeah, I think
this
it's,
doesn't
like,
belong to anybody anymore.
I think it's specifically the understanding that I get from it based on, like, the name of it. It's like, it sounds like it belonged to a European settler Spanish settler of some kind. Yeah, who came there and, like, left a cross. So it's not like
Coronado,
it's a native artifact.
Right?
Coronado, yeah. It's not a native artifact. It's, like, something
he was
that
like a real dude.
lost. Oh, really?
I'm very certain. That sounds like, I'm like, this, when they were talking about that, I'm like, oh, this sounds very, very familiar. Like, for the most part, like, the things that they're talking about are, like, real.
Coronado. Hang on. Looking it up.
Or at least real. If they're not real, they're, like, real pieces of lore. Or, you know, whatever. A lot, they do,
Indiana Jones.
These movies do a lot of religious stuff, which is fascinating to me.
Real quick, I want to read from the Wikipedia article on Coronado. Obviously a real dude, Spanish conquistador, blah, 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 blah. The popular culture section of Wikipedia, this is why I say I love Indiana Jones, is like, Last Crusade references the Cross of Coronado, blah, blah, blah. According to the film, this gold cross, discovered in a Utah cave system, was given to Vasquez de Coronado by Hernan Cortez in 1521. Such an event never happened because Vasquez de Coronado would have been 11 or 12 years old in 1521 and still living in Spain. Who fucking cares? Not me. But thanks for the history, though, Wikipedia. That's great. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well. These movies don't give a shit about stuff like that.
No, who cares? Not I.
They went after the Ark of the Covenant in the first movie. They don't care.
Yeah. It's like...
Which is, I don't even... I don't want to get too deep into that particular story, because I don't have enough education there. I would need to do more research to confirm some things, but yeah, it doesn't matter anyway. I think that, like, each of these movies feels, like, weirdly different from the other ones, and I did confirm they're all written by different people. I was like, I have a hunch that these are all written by different people, which is why they all feel so different. And I looked on Google, and the answer was, yeah, they were all written by different people. And I was like, bazinga, fucking hoops. But and that explains it, and but clearly, like, the first one and the third one were going for very similar things. Helena is the one who was like, yeah, Temple of Doom's a prequel, bro. And I was like, what the genuine fuck? I'm so assuming random. At some point they put, like, did they put a year in the movie at some point to be like, this is the... Because it could be that I wasn't paying attention and they showed a year and I just wasn't looking.
I can't remember.
Like, how do you know that it's a prequel?
Because I've always known that it's a prequel, and I also Googled it, and it says it's a prequel.
Okay, fair enough. Point made.
Like, I've always known that it's a prequel. It's set beforehand. But I don't know why it's a prequel. That's the thing. Is, like, there's nothing besides the fact that he's not still with Marion, which he isn't in The Last Crusade either.
No.
Besides that fact,
it's 2 years later.
Yeah.
Last Crusade takes place in 38. So.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also not with Willie by the time we get to Raiders, so...
Yeah. Which, like, thank God.
Yeah, she's annoying. These movies have issues. That's where I was kind of going, is, like, these movies have issues, some of them more than others. Temple of Doom is, like, barely watchable. The sequence where they're all eating, and they're, like, clearly doing the gross out food thing. I'm like, there's, like, that's, like, a real culture of people who have, like, actual food.
Yeah.
And, like, it's all, actually, to be fair, really good. Like, even if it wasn't to my taste, it wouldn't matter. But Indian food's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you, like, what is the point of you doing this rather than just to be racist? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's mind-boggling and, like, miserable. It's so awful. Short Round is, in his relationship with Indiana specifically, is my favorite part of that movie.
He's the best.
That part where Indy is, like, possessed by the cult or whatever, and Shorty is like, I love you, and, like, hits him with a fucking hits him with fire, and that's what wakes Indy up and is like, "Oh, I'm real now. Like I'm back." That was like,
Indy, you're my best friend.
You're my best friend. I love you. And you're like, oh. No, once again, there are parts about the way they wrote Shorty that are questionable.
Yeah.
I think. Temple of Doom specifically is just so bad. And also, like, the other two make more sense as a pair.
Yeah.
So the other part, it's like, you can just skip Temple of Doom because it doesn't make any sense. It's totally separate.
I don't know what happened with Spielberg in between making Raiders and Temple of Doom, but Temple of Doom in particular, like, the best thing about Temple of Doom besides Short Round is how fucking scary and like nuts it is. Like, there are generally parts that when I was like, what the fuck? That's so fucked up.
They
like,
do
nasty.
A human sacrifice, like, on screen where they pull a heart out of somebody's chest and it's on fire. Shit's crazy.
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me as a small child.
Yeah. Isn't that one of the first movies that made people be like, we need another rating besides just PBR?
Yeah!
Yep.
Like, and you can see it. Yeah, I told Amanda that, and she was like, you know, that makes sense. As I was just like, yeah, so there's a human sacrifice happening on screen right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a point at some point, and I just totally lost it because I was talking about how much I disliked Temple of Doom. If you haven't watched them, or like don't remember, or like haven't watched them in a while, don't even. I'd watch Temple of Doom, so you don't have to. Just watch Raiders and Last Crusade. Like, don't even go there. It's not worth it. It's really not. I promise you. God.
This is fucking long-term nuclear waste warning system. This is not a place of honor.
Truly. It is not. It's not worth it.
Everybody, we watch movies just to watch them, and that's fine if you want to do that. But, like, just know it's, in terms of, if you're one of those people who's like, do I want to watch this movie because it's good? That's not a thing that you have to worry about with Temple of Doom.
No.
The thing that bothered me even more than, like, the food thing almost was when they first arrive at the Indian village.
Yes.
India that they go to.
Yes.
And it's a different kind of racist where it's just, like, so patronizing and, like, look at all these. It was just, like, I was like, oh, God, this is so bad. And this is
that was also awful.
That's early on in the film, and that was still, like, the third separate kind of racism I had encountered in that movie up to that point.
There's, like, multiple kinds against multiple people.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
It's so
unnecessary. It says something that, like, the other movies also have moments where you're like, well, that was racist. And it, like, it stands out far and beyond all of that other stuff. I can't think about it too much long. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's so absurd. Don't watch Temple of Doom. It's not worth it. Let's talk about the better ones.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about Temple of Doom anymore.
I mean, all of them, again, taking from the sources that they took from, those adventure serials, and, like, I took a class in college that was, like, gender studies in like, world lit and media, and my teacher fucking went off on Raiders of the Lost Ark in this class. I remember distinctly, mostly not just about how, like, it was colonial sexism and, like sexism from the point of view of colonialism. So she was talking a lot about that. So I always think about that when I'm watching, especially the map sequence, because to her that map sequence is, like, the pinnacle of, like, subtextual colonialism. But, like, it was like whenever they show an adventure movie, it's the person, like, going over the map and, like, hitting all the different places of all
interesting.
We can talk later about that because I don't remember everything that she said. I would have to dig deep into my notes. So, like, the movies as a whole, the trilogy as a whole, the concept as a whole, right, is not exactly not racist. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's
the Indiana Jones series is not free of sin as a whole.
They're always just kind of on the brink of kind of being and mostly, they're able to kind of skirt away from that, but Temple of Doom is just not about it.
It just dives face first into it, and it's just like, all right, sure.
Right. Anyway, enough about that.
Let's see. I'm scrolling through our notes here. You mentioned how Raiders just drops you into the action sequence.
Oh, yes.
Like, that's the first movie, and it just opens up into, like, we're in an action movie.
It's one of my favorite things, I think, actually, about Indiana Jones. I mean, other than the fact that, like, I love the subject matter, like I always have, you know, on today's episode of We're All National Treasure Kids or whatever. But also,
I almost got a history degree. Like, yeah. I love this stuff.
I love puzzles, which is obviously why I love video games and also Dungeons and Dragons. And the idea that it's like you can solve puzzles by knowing things about history is just like fills me with childlike glee. But also one of the things that I really like about Indiana Jones, kind of, I would say in contrast to the way that I feel like a lot of modern action movies are done, where like that movie doesn't give a flying fuck about like context or lead-ins or anything. Like there's that chunk of the movie where it's just like, he's on a horse now. Where'd he get the horse? I don't fucking care where you got the horse. He's on a horse.
Fuck you.
It doesn't, because it doesn't matter where he got the horse. What matters is how he's gonna get out of this one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sort of, it's like in a positive way, it is just like local man experiences a series of increasingly stressful situations
and never loses his hat somehow.
and somehow is like, as long as he has his hat, he's fucking immortal.
Yeah.
Which I love for him.
He has a hat, he has a whip, and everything will work out.
Yeah, that hat is his plot armor.
It's very funny that in Last Crusade you find out that he got that hat from a different, like, archaeologist dude, and he's just held on to it all this time. I'm like, okay.
Fellowship of the Traveling fucking
No,
hat.
for real. That guy at the beginning of Last Crusade.
Like, they clearly are making him look exactly like, it's the exact same fit.
Yeah.
Like, Indy saw that dude and was like, I'm experiencing something, but I don't know what. I guess it must just be admiration. No, you're gay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a combination, right?
Buddy,
like,
I understand and respect thee. Do I want to be you or do you? And the answer is yes.
Both. Yeah. I guess you're bisexual. He's a bicon. I'm sorry.
I'm experiencing this void in my life of father figures and people to look up to and respect. And there's this weirdly morally questionable man
ambiguous,
who's really kind of hot, and he kind of seems like he approves of my actions somehow, and he gave me a hat, and what am I experiencing? I'm 14. That's
help. Yeah,
I just
exactly.
did the internal. They wrote that in the script, but River Phoenix looked at it and was like, "I'm not reading this. This is too."
It's like,
this is a shitty piece of writing. I'm just gonna act it out because I'm River Phoenix, and
I'll act it with my face bones, and that's what he did.
And we knew, and there was one set of footprints in the sand, and that's where I carried River Phoenix.
For real. That's why I know that some people, I recently discovered that some people don't like the opening to Last Crusade because they're like, oh, it's the backstory and it tries to explain everything, like his fear of snakes and the scar on his chin or whatever. But these are people who grew up,
have fun,
who are slightly older than me, who I think saw the Indiana Jones movies in the quote-unquote correct order. So they saw Raiders first, and then they saw Temple of Doom, and they saw Last Crusade. I, however, as we all know, am a ridiculous person, and so the movie, I didn't see Raiders of the Lost Ark for several years, and the only Indiana Jones movie that I had seen for several years was Last Crusade, which is in line with
never
my
ceases
watching
to amuse
habits.
the fuck out of me.
See Serenity before you see Firefly, see Last Crusade before you see Raiders. It all adds up. It's fine. And I turned out okay, but that means that I don't really give a shit, and I'm more just like, even if you think that that's true, even if that somehow bothers you, which, like, I think it's silly to be bothered by it because it's not like it's doing it to say, this is how it happened. It's doing it to set up something that's going to come in, that's going to be important to the story. It's not just doing backstory to be like, and
like, literally 5 minutes after that scene ends, like, you immediately step into another scene.
Yeah.
where, like, Indy gets that cross back, and then you get the revelation of, like, his dad is gone, he's got issues with his dad. Like, that scene immediately sets up stuff that then it leads directly into stuff that it's important that we saw that. Like, I did see them in the, like, order they came out in, and I'm like, it makes sense to me, and it's also, like, it's clear that movie was supposed to be the last one. And so, like... You know, let the man have a little backstory. That's fine. There's not that's not like a sin.
No, it's also just like for goofs and like giggles because like, he got a scar on his chin because he was trying to control a lion in a circus train. Like it's stupid, right? But who
he fell
cares?
into a pit of snakes and now he's afraid of snakes. Yeah, like I don't know.
It's stupid. Like who cares? But the point is, the most important thing is like, why are you even complaining at all? Because if we get even 5 extra minutes of River Phoenix acting in our cinema history, then why would you be like, I don't want this because I'm an idiot?
Losers.
That just baffles me. River Phoenix's ability to suggest Harrison Ford's scowl and stupid run and his
Kills
general like himbo-ness is incredible. He nailed it, and his hair is ridiculous. God bless.
Oh my god, it's so long.
It's so bad. He's got like the Don Bluth protagonist hair, and I'm like, what's up?
But like even longer than that.
Even
it's like another couple inches. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's really nice. There's one point where he's standing on the train, I'm like, girl, like how long is your hair? How long are those bangs though?
Yeah, really it's really cute though.
Yeah.
I find it very charming. I like that opening sequence a lot. I thought it was really fun. The like reveal suddenly that it's a young Indy is like, oh, that's cute. This is cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. And the part where he makes him count to 10 in Greek is very funny.
Yeah.
The dog, love to see a dog, love to see that it's a husky.
Yeah, no wonder Indy is so fucking loud if he named himself after a husky.
Yeah, for real.
That man is constantly shouting.
He does like a lot of yelling.
He can't be normal for a single second. He can't be chill.
I mean, if you were raised by a husky and a dad like that, I wouldn't be normal either.
Yeah.
You have 2 dads.
That's
and you named yourself after the husky rather than your dad.
That's so
woof.
Funny.
Get this man a therapist.
That is, I have to say, that is just like, that is such a transmask move, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to talk. I know that Spielberg didn't write the screenplay, but I need to talk to him about that. And I need to talk to him about so many other things with daddy issues in these movies. Especially because, like, dog. Ezra, you've seen The Fabelmans.
I have seen The Fabelmans, man.
This is my second viewing of Last Crusade after seeing The Fabelmans, so it didn't hit me quite as hard this time. But the first time I watched this movie after seeing The Fabelmans, I was like, what the fuck? Dude. I mean, even right from the beginning, I was like, just the opening sequence, which, as a reminder, is only about 10 minutes long. It's like, oh, right, the film that he made when he was a teenager, that's in here. Oh, the weird relationship with an emotionally distant father, that's in here. Oh, the train sequence that he saw when at The Greatest Show Ever Made, that's in here. What the fuck is happening, Spielberg? My dude. I want to just like...
see The Fabelmans.
You need to see The Fabelmans.
Journey to the center of this man's psyche. Like, I mean, by way of fucking Indiana Jones of all goddamn things.
So funny.
It's so fucking nuts. Funny. I mean, it's in all of them. Like, it's in all of his movies. It's in all of Indiana Jones. But, like, Last Crusade specifically, because it is about having a father, is, like, extremely so. And also, of course, I was thinking about, like, during that opening sequence when it's just showing, like, the Boy Scouts riding around Utah. I was like, oh, yes, I remember that you saw Lawrence of Arabia 20 times when it was in theaters, you fucking lunatic. It's just...
That's 20 more times than I've seen Lawrence of Arabia in theaters, and I'm so fucking jealous.
I know. I'm like, dude, I saw Lawrence of Arabia once in theaters, and I don't know if I can do it again.
As a person?
It changed me as like on a spiritual level, and I don't know if I could do it again for like 5 more years. You saw it 20 times in theaters. Like, every week this man was seeing this movie. Like, this man was taking time out of his life to go and see this 3 hour, 40-minute movie.
Yeah.
In theaters.
Yep.
20 times he did this.
Wow.
I can't, with him. But obviously it had a positive impact on him, because that's all over this movie in just the way that he frames things. That was really nice watching this. Was like, I forget. The thing about Spielberg is that if you grow up watching Spielberg movies, like so many of us have done, because Spielberg makes movies for families and kids, you don't realize how good of a director he is, because you're just watching his movies and being like, oh, that's what movies are. Yeah, and then you get older, and then you watch other movies, and you think, oh, Spielberg's not that good of a director. And then you watch more movies, and then you go back to Spielberg, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what that looks like. That's what making movies
that
looks
is
like.
Such a good way of putting it, because for a long time, I'm always like, one of my favorite ways to describe Spielberg movies is that, like, they're like the best sandwich you've ever eaten. Mm-hmm. Like, it is, you have to appreciate for what it is, which is a sandwich. It's not a Michelin star restaurant or whatever, and it's not trying to be a Michelin star restaurant. It's trying to make the best goddamn sandwich you've ever had in your life. And succeeding. And then it's like, yeah, and it's because I fucking grew up watching Steven Spielberg movies, so to me it's like, that is what cinema means.
Yeah.
Like, it's just is like, what does movie mean? Well,
this is what it looks like to me.
That's what movies look like.
Like, growing up in a post-Spielberg world and watching Jaws and Last Crusade on repeat as a child, like, that's what movie making looks
That's
like.
just what movies are.
Yeah, and there's so many things in this movie, like, just in Last Crusade, which, like, if I were to be, like, about it, I would be like, okay, so I guess Raiders is technically, there are things about it that are better made, but, like, Last Crusade to me is the best in my heart.
Helena, a movie can be your favorite without being the best one.
Yeah, it's true. It happens all the time.
The thing is,
I'm like, if it's my favorite, it's the best. If that makes sense. But also,
oh no, that's totally fair.
Yeah,
that's also like a legit way to think about things. But also,
yes, I do think Raiders is the one that stands out the most in terms of, like, cinematic choices.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
In terms of, like, there were points where I was watching Raiders and thinking, like, oh, that's an interesting shot, or like, oh, that's an interesting lighting choice, I really like that, or, stuff like that, or like the face melting scene, a scene which has stayed in, like, cinematic history for a million years. Like, everybody talks about that when they talk about Indiana Jones,
The iconography of it is very strong.
Or the boulder scene, like, it as a film, if you're talking about capital F film, I think probably stands out the most and has the most, like, capital F film things going on with it. But Last Crusade is very iconic for different reasons, and I think that's it's like, really, when you are thinking about the lore of the Indiana Jones movies, like, that's the one that stands out the most on that front, because it has the most going on for, like, character arc stuff. Like, the first one is just, like, I'm an action-adventure movie, and we're here to kick ass and take names, and it doesn't really matter what else is going on. And also, I'm doing some I'm, like, experimenting with, like, making a film. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you make a film? Whereas Last Crusade is, like, more about the character parts, and less about the, like, film aspect, like, the technical versus the, like, the writing, you know what I mean?
I do. Like, it's, for me, like, Last Crusade is the one where the themes stand out the most to me, where I watch that and I'm like, I kind of know what this movie is about. Like, Raiders of the Lost Ark, like, I'm not saying that Raiders isn't about anything, and I'm sure many people have written essays on it, but to me, like, Last Crusade feels like it's the most that's about something to me, which is that idea of, like, illumination. and
Right.
what illumination means and what it means to, like what's real and what we care about, basically. And that's not really what the theme is, but I'm trying to summarize it instead of just verbatim repeating my Letterboxd review that I wrote 3 hours earlier.
I think that, like, Raiders maybe would have had more of that kind of thing if they had gone with... I watch Raiders, and I get to the end, and I think if you had wanted to make a second movie, you would have done something different. And for some reason, we made Temple of Doom instead. And I don't know why, but I get this hunch where you have that long shot that the credits are rolling over of the government warehouse that I think... that was supposed to be a storyline that you were going to follow through on, I think. Like, that feels like too big of a thing to just, like... But I also think that Raiders feels like a movie that was maybe meant to stand alone, and then it was like, no, please make more, and it was like, okay, well, let's make a prequel then. And then they made the next one, it was like, well, let's go back and talk about, like, Indy as a person, rather than just as the execution of a piece of action movie, you know?
I don't remember Kingdom of the Crystal Skull that well, so I didn't confirm fucking see it for sure. But I feel like that storyline that feels like it's being set up in Raiders is actually brought up again, albeit not as the central thing in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is, however, set, like, 15... No, wait.
It has to be
like
more than 15 years
like
later.
20 years after Raiders, at least, because it's set in the 1950s.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it can't be just 15 years later.
No. It's like, yeah, because it's like part of it takes place in like towards the beginning in an atomic village, like one of those fake atomic villages for So I seem to remember something.
Does somebody hide from a nuclear test in a refrigerator in that movie?
Indy does.
Okay, cool. That just, like, crawled its way out of the back of my brain, because I do remember sitting there going, okay, there is a level of suspension of disbelief that I am perfectly happy to engage in for Indiana Jones movies. And you would have, like, my man would be looking like the Chernobyl miniseries.
For those who don't have a video on my face right now, the expression I can't see because I'm looking at the Google Docs, but I definitely I felt myself make an expression.
There was a series of faces that you just made that were very good.
You would be
dead.
You would be busted. You would be McFucking blasted, like directly into another atmosphere. You'd be gone, bro.
I don't think we were ever making refrigerators out of lead, were we?
Yeah.
I
don't think so. I don't think that is very conducive to refrigeration.
I'm looking up Kingdom of the Crystal Skull on Wikipedia now.
Do you ever get mad?
I've never watched. I haven't watched either of the most recent ones.
Latin for lead.
Sorry, what did you just say?
Do you ever get mad that the word plumbing is basically just Latin for lead turned into a verb in the English sense?
I didn't know that, so no, I don't. I've never been mad about that before.
Well, now you can be mad with me.
Okay, so it's 1957 in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, blah, 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 blah.
That makes more sense, because when you said, like, 1950, I was like, that seems a little too early to be doing stuff like this, but fine, what do I know?
Hangar 51 in Nevada, and then locate an alien corpse from the Roswell incident.
What?
Corpse escapes to a nearby model town, the Nevada test site, minutes before an atomic bomb test. He survives the blast in a lead-lined refrigerator in one of the town's mock houses before being rescued and interrogated by the FBI. This is the first paragraph of the plot summary. I'm obsessed with him.
I'm gonna be weird with you. I feel like it got dumber from there. I do not remember this movie fondly.
Well, how does this have to do with the Crystal Skull?
Oh, well,
it's an alien skull. Sorry,
it's so funny,
just,
too,
jump
because,
forward.
like, this is all before fucking Shia LaBeouf shows up, too.
It's a skull that looks like an alien. It's or something.
I mostly didn't see this because I didn't want to see Shia LaBeouf, genuinely. And also because I was like, I don't need any more Indiana Jones, but like the most part of why I didn't see it because I was like, I'm tired of seeing Shia LaBeouf and things. Please, he's already in.
Oh yeah,
fucking Constantine, I think, if I recall correctly, and I have to see him enough in that. So.
Oh, gross.
The
skulls are the crystal skulls are alien in origin and from the mythical city of Akator. Jones has a brief. Sorry, I'm just like in the middle of reading this. I'm remembering the episode of Peep Show where David Mitchell's character meets this girl he's really into, and then she finds out that she believes in like crystal skulls, and he's like, oh, but you don't actually. Just pretend that you believe in it, but it goes against everything that he knows in his heart to pretend like he believes in crystal skulls, but he's like, yeah, it's sort of cool, I guess, but it's just like, no,
this is ridiculous.
So fucking fake.
Also, I was right, Shia LaBeouf is in Constantine the movie. I was like, he is, right? The answer is yes.
Wow, that's...
Phew.
Wait a minute here, Jones has a brief telepathic connection to the skull.
No.
What? Okay.
This is just like the second Reanimator movie.
It's just
I love
like
that.
Reanimator.
See, the thing
it's
the
just
thing
like
about,
Bride of Reanimator.
The thing about the like, and also some inexplicable supernatural shit happens in the first three movies is that it sort of just like shows up at the end and nobody thinks too hard about it.
And then we just move on. It's a brief like, there's a 700-year-old Templar here, let's move on. It's not like the basis of the whole movie is fucking aliens or whatever.
You can't look too close at it, because if you look too close at it, then you pick it apart, and then it's no longer, like, cool. Which I will also say is, like, if we want to get into Dial of Destiny for a minute, a movie that I, like, genuinely had a good time seeing in a theater, I think that one drew out the supernatural element too much also. Where it's like, I think the thing about the first three is that, yeah, it's like it wouldn't work, the plot of those movies would not work without the supernatural element, but in like, I mean, I guess in Raiders specifically, it's a literal Deus Ex Machina. Like, it comes out of nowhere. You can't predict it, you can't... But it's not something that anybody ever, like, really, you know, like, you think, like, oh, like, the Nazis think that it's real, but, like, come on, man, that's bullshit. Surely that's bullshit. And then it sort of just, like, turns out not to be bullshit, but nobody, like, has a chance to, like, sit and think about the fucking cosmic implications of that shit. They're like, and cool, how do I get off this fucking island?
Even in Raiders, what they're thinking is, like, we have to open it so that our boss, Hitler, doesn't yell at us, and we have to prove that the original tablets are in there. Yeah. That's what they're thinking is in there, is the original tablets. They're not thinking, like, the power of God is gonna come out and rip our fucking faces off. Yeah. They're just thinking,
so
like, the first tablets that Moses threw at the ground are gonna be in there, and then they can take it back to Hitler and be like, guess what, bitch, we got this, yay.
Well,
you know?
But then also, like, in Last Crusade with the Grail, I mean, here's the thing, though, too, is, like, Hitler actually, as far as I understand, did believe in some of this shit.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. So
that's like when that is a fact.
Yeah, that becomes the stakes then for these movies. It's not so much like we have to acknowledge this is real for like the spirituality of our characters. It's more like
our boss wants this, and our boss is really, like, weirdly into the occult. And by our boss, I mean fucking Hitler. Yeah.
Yeah, our antagonist believes it's real, and they're trying to get it. So to raise the stakes, let's assume it actually is real, so that we can make the satisfaction of defeating these guys much more satisfying, because it's not just that we prevented the Nazis from getting something, it's that we prevented the Nazis from getting immortality, and they fucking got their faces melted off and turned into the Crypt Keeper.
Or they fell down a pit.
1 and 3. Or they fell down a pit. Good night.
Or one of the dudes drank from the wrong grail and turned into a skeleton over the span of 30 seconds and exploded, which was awesome.
So good.
And then the rest of the Nazis fell down a pit and died.
And also fell off a cliff while on a tank. an army.
Oh, right. It also fell off a cliff.
All things I am in favor of. Punt Nazis off cliffs.
Exactly.
Always.
And all of it is cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I will just, like, jump in. Like, Dial of Destiny is way better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, a movie that I remember, like, not liking at the time. It looks good. Like, it has a little bit of that, like, we needed to make this city look like it did X many number of years ago, and so you're, like, you can tell that it's done with CG, but, like, I don't care. I think I've sort of reached this point where I'm like, I don't care if I can tell that something was done with a computer. It looks good. It's artistic. Somebody did art on that. It's like, it's no different than admiring digital art to me. I would rather see them do that than just be like, and we have just foreshortened the horizon and made everything, we're filming this in a fog bank that we're lighting with colors. Fuck you, volume. Anyway, I just have to, like, there's a fuck you volume quotient on this show that I have to get out. Anyway, but it's just as, like, the costume, everybody looks good, like, there are funny jokes, the performances are quite good, like, it's too long, but most movies are these days, like, it's paced pretty well, you can see what's happening in the scenes where it's dark. They're in dark caves and things, and I can identify what's fucking happening in the scene. Anyway, so, but I think it does, like, you have the angle of, like, oh, well, this, like, the one person who's convinced that this thing is real is, like, a crackpot or whatever, and then it turns out to be real, but, like, I feel like it still lingers a little too long, and, like, BT dubs, this thing is actually magic. I still had a good time, though.
Do any of us have anything else we want to really, like, Z, do you have anything else you want to add on the subject, or do we just want to head out?
Not really. I need to confirm one thing extremely quickly, and then that'll be it.
Okay, I'll talk while you do that, then. Just as, like, an overall, like, thoughts on the matter, and then we can get us out of here.
Yeah, also that movie includes Hot, Antonio Banderas. My man is looking
Hell
real
yeah!
good. He's, like, a bit part.
That?
Yeah, he's a bit part. He looks real fucking tasty.
Hell
and
yeah.
also, I have the hilarious thing that happens where there's this German actor named Thomas Kretschmann, who I can recognize, like, fucking instantly in things. I'm like, oh hey, that's Thomas Kretschmann. Who anyway, he's in The Pianist. He's in a lot of things, but I just
he's
like
in King Kong.
He is in King Kong,
and he's
like,
in this. He's in Dial of Destiny.
He's in Dial of Destiny. He's just, like, on my radar, where he's, like, one of these actors where, like, he, like, opens his mouth and I go, oh shit, it's that guy.
It's you.
And also, you know who else is looking real fucking good in this movie? You guessed it, it's Mads Mikkelsen.
I forgot that he was in it. He's bizarre.
Very hot. I wish that for his sake he could stop having to play Nazis. He plays a lot of Nazis.
Guys, it's very annoying.
He's not German.
Yeah, he's not German.
He is
first
not,
of all.
That man
and
is
two,
not from
he
Germany.
He could do other stuff.
Yeah, but he looks real good in those 40s suits, so how much am I really complaining?
I'm not mad about that. I do love him. I always like to see his face.
I don't know. I had a good time. I considered it to be worth the price of my movie ticket, so.
Okay, well, I will probably rent it or watch it when it comes. I mean, I'll watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I can watch it for free because I'm using my parents. Haha. Okay, any other last thoughts before we wrap up? I don't know. No. I like Indiana Jones. I think they're fun. I don't intend to see Crystal Skull, maybe, unless I do it while I am inebriated in some form.
Yeah, do that.
This sounds real dumb.
And in a win for the anti-colonial struggle everywhere, Henry Kissinger is fucking dead.
Henry Kissinger is fucking dead.
Happy birthday, everybody!
As of day of recording, we found out. We found out right before we started recording that Henry Kissinger died. So crab rave, Henry Kissinger is dead. God bless America.
Fucking riddance.
Let's fucking go. We did it.
We did it, team. Hooray for the Grim Reaper, Gatchapon. Finally got him.
Finally got him. Yeehaw.
Oh, man.
Thank God.
Moment of silence.
Yeah,
no
silence to think about
how happy
we are.
Oh, for happy we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. May he rest in pieces. Rest in piss. You mean evil motherfucker.
Moment of silence for Anthony Bourdain, who said the best thing about.
Oh
Henry
yeah.
Kissinger.
Oh god,
Yeah.
what is that exact quote? Is like
he talks about being in Cambodia, and he says if you've been there, you never want to stop beating Henry Kissinger to death with your bare hands. Basically,
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is understandable.
Right.
He's right. Yeah. Thanks, Tony.
I'm gonna just assume that Tony
Miss
Bourdain's
you.
like spirit just came in
Killed him.
and got the final.
Was
kick
like,
on
I'm
Henry
sick.
Kissinger.
Yeah, I'm sick of this. I can't wait any longer. I'm gonna rip him out of his body. Thank you, Tony. We love you.
Thanks, Tony. Oh boy.
Also, I
Okay.
can't. I have to say this. I can't not talk about Indiana Jones, but that scene where they're having a drink in Last Crusade, and he's like, "You were a shitty dad," and Sean Connery's like, "I was a great dad actually, because I let you do whatever you wanted," and you're like, "No, that's actually not the sign of a good dad, but whatever." And he's like, "Well, fine. You want to talk? What do you want to talk about?" And then Indy's just sitting there like, I've spent most of my life not knowing how to talk to you because you won't talk to me. I don't know what to say. And he's like, great, let's not talk then. Always gets me. Always kills me. God, Sean Connery, you are such a shitty dad in that movie, and I always want to kill you. But you get it together eventually. But that scene makes me real sad.
Yeah. Good movie with... Again, like you always mentioned earlier, so my last thought on this as well, the emotional climax of that movie when he's trying to grab
Indiana.
Yeah, where he says Indiana.
Indiana, give me your other hand. Yeah, Indiana, let it go.
Let it go. Is like, I'm just like
my heart.
Meaningful to me.
Yeah, I love Indiana
It's
Jones.
so
I love the ride. Henry Kissinger's dead. Everything is good.
Happy end of November.
Happy end of November.
And on that note, thanks for hanging out with us here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here on Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come chat with us on the Infinity Break Discord. You can find it at bit.ly / that's capital I Infinity capital T Talks. You can also shoot us an email at sneepleatthemovies@gmail.com if you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about, or a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or a fave screenshot of Harrison Ford to share. Ooh. Our Oscar-worthy music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. And our glorious Technicolor logo was designed by Bethany Luthold. You can check her out at bethanyluthold.wixsite.com. If you enjoyed listening, please leave us a review on iTunes as usual, and share the show with your friends, your enemies, and your partners in crime. As always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.